And we are rolling. The boys are back.
We are back.
The boys are back.
We are back. The boys are back in town.
You
Question about locking up
I
there,
don't
man.
know. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, the Mega Power.
Mega Powers Podcast
Hey.
is not what we're called.
No, or who knows?
It may be. You know, we're in the market. We're in the market for a new name.
Nothing's signed in blood.
Yeah, you
yet.
know, we ain't signed nothing yet.
So what's been going on, man? How's your life?
Oh, man, terrible.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
It's just somebody actually did tell you that though. You just,
Man, it's part of life.
man, I ain't see you in a minute. What's going on, man? I'm
terrible. It's part of life, man.
Yeah, let me start crying. I mean, you know,
hey, man. He needed to get it out. He needed to get it out.
You gonna hug him if he cried?
If he needed a hug, sure. I mean, I would if a man needed a hug. I mean, if it's you know, took care of itself.
You aren't about to hug.
I'm telling you, listen, man. I'm at a different space in my life, man. It's just
you start crying like snotty crying, like you know.
I don't know about that. That's because I don't want that on my shoulder.
She took the dog, the kids, the frog, and they took it all.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, they take a frog.
The frog is because why was the frog? Why take a frog?
Right. That's such a
Who wants to take care of a frog?
Right. You got to put bugs in the cage. If the woman take the frog and have to deal with bugs to feed it,
you messed her up.
You really
pissed her off.
You really messed up.
You did.
Really messed up, Bucko.
You did.
But yeah, no, life been all right, man. I've been all right.
Man, still here.
I've been all right. Still here.
Season 2.
In good health and in my right mind.
That's all that. Listen, some days that's all that matters.
Listen, man, because that right mind. When people wake up, they thank God for good health, but you got to thank for that mind. Because sometimes you see some people out here.
Yeah, you can be a political pundit only blaming one side and not having no consistency.
Or
the right mind.
In more of my case, you could be the person sitting outside of Target, cooing like a bird, not even asking for food or money, just saying hi to people when they walk out.
What's wrong with that?
Cooing like a bird, sitting on the ground.
That's how you say it. That's how they say hi or bye. Birdman.
Just like a pigeon.
Call it a birdman.
Like, ma'am, do you need anything? Oh, no, I'm just here.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful to be me.
Yeah.
You know, and to always be me.
Hot shot.
Yeah. So it's been what has it been? 3 months?
It's been a minute. A lot of stuff is going on. A whole lot of stuff in the sports world, movie world, video game world.
Yeah, the Olympics have happened.
The Olympics have happened.
We won.
We missed all of. Is it really like a legitimate winner to the Olympics? I thought it was just.
No, we won. Whoever has the most medals wins. And
most gold medals or most medals period?
Most medals you won. Most gold medals you won. I believe we had the most medals by 20 or 30, and I think we had the most gold by like 1 or 2. China was. I didn't realize they had that many contenders.
Really?
But I do believe I think we ended up winning by 1 or 2, but they had a lead on the gold. Excuse me, for quite some time, and then but we had at least like a 10 medal period gap. But yeah, they had the gold for a minute, and then once gymnastics, swim, basketball. On both ends, track and field, and I believe that is what jettisoned us to 1 or 2 ahead.
I don't think I've ever seen a Chinese person win a medal in track and field.
Listen now, listen. I watched track and field. I was pleasantly shocked because the stereotype is out there. As far as them running, like I would never be like Derek Henry.
We got an
oh wow! I would never look and be like, oh, this Chinese guy is gonna be fast as hell. But he is clearly a world class sprinter. So he or she is there for a reason.
What's crazy is though, and this may sound racist. I apologize if it does to the Asian community, but they be the fastest people in movies, like fighting and running and stuff like that. And then
That's not.
listen, try to block a punch from Jet Li.
First off, that's a man who studied his craft.
And the Olympic runners aren't people
For
who
decades.
studied their craft.
Right, but that's what they're doing. They don't, according to the world, they don't have all the trappings that America has as far as freedom goes. So their TikTok is limited. Their social media is
So
limited.
you
So-
running, that is all you're doing. You are representing
Right.
this country as a
Correct.
runner. You are born to run. Get them little legs moving.
That is accurate. So it's not.
So in theory,
uh-huh.
they should be faster
No, well, I mean, genetically, there's only so many things you can do
because
to
of
a
that
superior
extra tendon.
Okay, to a superior race as far as
So
athletics
there's a
goes.
superior race.
Yes, it's proven that. I don't want to say black as a whole, but African people, African descendant people, yeah, are physically superior. And again, these aren't, now if you want to get to, somebody wants to get to arguing about the brain and stuff. Listen, I'm just telling you,
I just know
physically.
you just pigeonholed a lot of our sponsorship dollars by saying
The truth. Listen, if the world is afraid of the truth, that's not my
just
problem.
saying, man.
Physically, it's been proven. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying anything that isn't a fact. It's just what it is. Now, does that mean that somebody can't be outworked? Of course not.
Tortoise in the hair.
Right? Hard work will always beat talent if the talent doesn't work hard. So having the gifts don't mean anything if you're on the couch playing Madden all day.
Yeah, well,
But I was saying all that to say is that they were fast as hell and they beat a lot of I don't know what, I can't remember the countries they were from, but they were people of African descent or Caribbean, let's say African descent, and they were winning. They came in three and second, third and second a couple times. I was pleasantly surprised to see that, but they was moving. I was shocked because I said, "Oh no, he's coming in last.
I mean,
He's coming."
it is funny how you just look at it. It's like naturally, I was like, all right, America, Jamaica, and then everybody else.
Which that's what? Oh no, there was not Barbados. Oh no, there was a Barbadian guy that won. I mean, there's some countries that are creeping up, and then the wild thing is that for Germany and those countries like that, they usually have somebody black who's running as well because they understand it. It's just what it is as far as athleticism goes.
Well, extra tendon and Achilles, but
No,
that was months ago, and now to more current times.
WNBA playoffs.
The WNBA playoffs is something we do have to talk about first. Yes.
Caitlin Clark. When we last spoke, there was a bit of animosity being thrown her way by, I guess you would say,
Everybody?
the left and the right, and a couple of
up and the
people
down.
in the WNBA. And since that time, she has only ascended in every statistical category.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think except rebounds, because Angel Reese had a lot of rebounds. But I still think
she's still in top like 10 or something.
most
like that.
triple doubles, like she's balling.
It's
She's
crazy
been out
how
of
they
this
say
world.
most triple doubles. It was like 2.
I mean, because who's doing, you know what I mean? Like who's doing all that? But that's like LeBron. Like it was just, or like Russ. Like okay, like are you doing it? Are you doing it? But for her, because of the height, so she's 6'1", 6'2", so she's tall, but she's not near the tallest person nor near the shortest person on the court. But she plays. She has an all-around game.
She does.
It would be, some could say, a Larry Bird before the injuries, because Larry could shoot, Larry could rebound, Larry could pass. He could do all things
So she's
through
Lindsey
Christ
Bird.
that strengthened him. She could be.
Lindsey
She
Bird.
could be. But so yes, so they're flourishing. They're in the playoffs now.
They're in the playoffs. Got blew the brakes off of them in the first game.
That
But,
happens. That happens.
the
First
Cinderella
off.
story got to end at some
Or
point.
maybe not.
The clock got to strike midnight at some
But the
point.
playoffs is different. They're on a team full of children. She's a child. Playoffs are a little different. I know she got the young Boston girl on there and another young lady on the team that they've her and Caitlin have vibed a bit. But I think to go back to the Olympics briefly, is none of them leaving for the Olympics and them staying together for those 2-3 weeks was paramount in their cohesion as a team. Because everybody else took off. Certain people lost teammates, they lost players, they got locked in and got familiar. Because, okay, she loses, the national championship, gets drafted, figure it out. Whereas now here's 3 weeks. Let's hoop. Let's get it together as a unit, as a team, and that's what they came up. I think they were 1-8, and then they got to a point to where they were 17-8, and then now I think I'd asked you last week. You said they were like, I don't know, might have been 24-20 or something like that.
Something like that. I can't remember 100%.
But
they're in the playoffs. That's all.
Correct. But without taking up too much time in that situation, who do you have as the MVP? Then you're gonna go Ajayi again?
I was about to say.
What rookie of the year? Who you got?
Well, I mean, she already won MVP. They already did the vote.
Who won it?
Asia.
Oh, Asia. Wow.
Yeah, they did all this already. Asia won.
Did they?
Caitlin won unanimous rookie of the year.
Which she should have.
Now the question is, if Angel didn't get hurt, what do you think would have been unanimous? I think Caitlin would have still won.
I think it would have still had to be unanimous based off of the all-around game and what she dealt with. Like, yeah, did everybody get a couple of extra elbows? Yes. Did they get as many elbows as Caitlin got? No. And she handled it like a champ.
Yeah, she didn't go in there like they got she didn't go out there playing mini men every time she came out. And,
or even you look at Shador. When they got rocked that one game,
mm-hmm.
he was, how many times did the other quarterback get sacked? You hear nothing. The team.
Yeah, that's how you got to do it. Especially when you are the fish out of water, so to speak.
For sure.
In the league that is predominantly other people. And you try to pull the race car at that point, then they're really going to come after you.
So real quick, speaking of race, obviously we don't try to get too deep into it, so this will be quick. We are in a political race as
mm-hmm.
of now. And how do you feel? Because we had also mentioned earlier in regards to her supporters and some of the reason why they were supporting her. Apparently, she had come out and had just liked
the post.
Yeah, had liked a post by, I would imagine, a idol of hers and possible associate friend in Taylor Swift. The first time and probably the last time that name will be mentioned here. But anyway,
T-Swizzle.
Yeah, she liked the post, and then all of a sudden, a lot of the people from the right, all of a sudden, I thought you were better than this. Like, what? She's a child.
Yeah,
what do you mean thought she was better than this? Don't we want it as a democratic, I'm sorry, I don't want to use that. Don't we want it as a country who celebrates democracy for a child to choose of their own mind? Because there's noise coming from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So why vilify somebody because they're not going with your side? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
whatever side she chooses to go on, end of the night.
I like you said, we try not to get political, but I will say this is the most in the times I've been able to vote. This is the most I've ever talked about politics. I got the 2 rules.
It's everywhere.
Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about religion to people because then it turns to a debate. How you feel is how you feel, and ain't no way I can go and change it. In most cases,
for sure,
you have your stance and your beliefs, and there's no way I'm going to be able to change it. It's just going to be back and forth, and then at the end of the day, it's like, well, you gonna see, no, you gonna see, and so I usually keep it to myself. But this, I will say, and this isn't even where we plan on going today. This is probably the most. And maybe it's been divided like this before, but I just haven't been vocal and been a part of the discussions to see how divided everybody is about things that I have ever seen. Like, it's...
For me, I've always welcomed the conversation. That whole we don't talk politics and religion. To me, that is what continues to widen the divide that we have as a country. Obviously, some countries are dictatorships, so whether you like or love, the person in charge, everybody's united for the most part. Whereas in here, that continues to create so much division. Who you choose to worship It's cool. You know, like that's you. You know,
Mhm.
there shouldn't be no, you know, no animosity towards whatever side. I mean, I think we all could agree if there was a religion that was harming babies, I would hope everyone would be on that side.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, for that to be like the the one or two spoken rules across everybody in the United States, you don't have that conversation. It because then you don't realize how similar you
Well,
are to
well,
somebody.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't have those conversations is because, and I'll give you an example.
Yes,
There's a time where it was a gentleman that we both know. We started having the conversation, but his agenda in the conversation was only to prove me right, not to prove me wrong, not to listen, to understand, not to hear my side. He just wanted to everything I said, flipped it, packaged it up, and returned back to sender. Like there was
sure,
no, literally everything he said. And then when it got to a point we couldn't say anything about it, it was like supposedly, like the only thing you could say was, well,
right,
allegedly or supposedly that's what they did or
but
whatever. But it never got to a understand. The only thing I got from that conversation is this person is not somebody who is going to be he's so stuck in his ways or whatever. Is not a person that I want to talk to about this because there's no progression from this conversation.
okay,
It was a lot of competitive, and that's a lot of the conversations I've had. Period is how it ends up going. It's like these people have their beliefs, you have your beliefs. You talk about it, and when you talk about it, they say theirs, then you say yours, and it's like people who are strong in their beliefs, they really believe it for a reason. Like it's one
right,
thing to just, oh, I grew up in this, whatever.
right,
But when you've actually seen things or things have happened that you really feel like came from this belief,
right,
whether it be political or religious, it just makes you stronger in that belief to where it's like it's going to take something very strong, and my word isn't going to change what you
right,
say. It may come to your remembrance after something comes out about that politician or whatever it is the pastor told you when you were
right,
pastor or
right,
religious leader told you when you were
right,
younger, and they're like, dang, Jason did say that, like down the line. But in that moment, it just causes more discourse. Now, I had never shy away from people who have questions. If you're going to ask me a question and you're trying to learn more about whatever it is, like the conversations to understand, yes.
for
The
sure.
conversations to just be combative, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just saying what, like I'm not going to knock you for what you believe
Right.
ever.
Now, in the combative conversations, do you think that's because that person isn't used to having a conversation? So that once they have the microphone, so to speak, that they just kind of, you know what I mean? And then they're just trying to get it out because they keep it
Well,
inside? Or they're talking to same people
I
who
don't
are
think
like
that's
minded as them?
in my experiences. I don't
Yeah.
think that's the case. In my experiences, I feel like they already are onto something. This is how most people uh, that I know, their beliefs get stronger, and when they find something to latch on to, it's because they already have something that, like, they have an idea already.
Okay.
As soon as they find something that supports that idea, to them, there's like, oh, I was right all along.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
for instance, if somebody says, "Oh, I want to be a vegan," it's like, "All right, I kind of want to be a vegan. I feel like being a vegan will do this,
Right.
and this to my body, or do this, and this." And then suddenly they go on the internet and they find Dr. Sebi,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Sebi is saying you need to do this, and this, and it's all the things they had already thought about. They're like, "Oh, I was right all along," and now I got this doctor who cured cancer that they killed because he had the answers to everything, and vegan is the way. Then they get on. There's the people who get self-righteous and get on their soapbox about it, and like you sit there, oh yeah, I'm about to go get some chicken. You eating chicken?
Right.
The chicken? That's the roaches of the fowl. Chicken is the roaches of the fowl, and that's what you eating? Please. What you need to do is get you a tomato, a little bit of pink Himalayan pepper, and not salt, but pepper. You can only find that on the internet somewhere, and and then turn it to something else. And so, like, yeah, I'm not. That's where I'm like, it's harder to have conversations with them because they already are. They have their beliefs. It's working for them
Yeah.
personally, and instead of it being like, oh, it works for me, they're just like, no, it's working for me, and you all need to be doing it. And kind of like when somebody first gets saved, when somebody first goes to church and becomes a Christian,
Oh.
and everything is
You
like,
though.
The you all are sinning. Ooh, I can't be around y'all sinners. Y'all some sinners.
Would you eat a roach for $3 million?
For three, live or dead?
I don't know. You have to catch it. You have to catch it and eat it. $3 million.
Do I get a dipping sauce?
Sure, that's even wilder because you have to hold it and then do it. That's even wilder. But because you got me thinking about this whole roaches of the fowl. Would you eat a roach for $3 million?
For three, you said 2 or 3?
$3 million.
$3 million with a dipping sauce?
No, you know what? You get the sauce, but you have to wait 5 minutes to let the intestines and the blood just kind of.
I mean, if I'm not gonna eat it with the sauce right away, I'm not gonna eat it with the sauce.
No. I'm saying you could use the sauce immediately, but you can't wash it down. You know, you just kind of.
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure roaches don't have a taste. It's just gonna be.
I'm sure they do.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm sure it's an awful.
I think it's going to be a weird texture, and if it's
I did that as soon as you bit.
Yeah, you know, especially you start chewing, the wing gets stuck in your teeth.
But which.
I mean, cultures do it for free. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Maybe $3 million real
That
quick.
was the first thing that popped in my head.
Roaches of the fowl.
Yeah. Moving on to another. It's kind of dying down now, but it is a debate. Not a debate, a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know, but there were two colleagues in the podcast game of ours. Actually, there's been we got two things. First, let me go to the semi-heavy, and then I'll go to the lighter one. They went on the podcast. There was conversation in regards to black women.
Mm-hmm.
Guy said that they were violent and angry, and then there was just some negative things.
Mm-hmm.
And then these other two gentlemen didn't refute any of that. They chuckled, and instead of issuing an apology once the I don't know, African American black, once the Nubian sisters got wind of it and were not fond of it, because I imagine they were the likes and the subscribers propping these two British men up, because I don't see a bunch of us watching it because there's too many other. But still, watch this one. But there's too many basketball. You know what I'm saying? There's too much other stuff to watch. So they issued a poo-poo apology. Then the gentleman whose show they was on saw the apology, realized it was trash, and then they tried to throw him under the bus. He responded that they could have taken some things out, including that conversation, but they chose not to. What are your views on who's to blame?
I mean,
So, for example, let's say I'm here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm Joe Schmo, Caucasian guy, and I'm speaking negatively about women, whatever race. But in this situation, it was black women, Nubian sisters. Do you feel it's their responsibility, being whether they're, obviously they're not from America, but they're still black? Is that their responsibility to address that and shut that down quickly? Or if jokes are rolling, is that just another one of the tings?
Well, no, you for sure. So there's two ways you can handle it. They handled it the absolute worst way, because it wasn't even chuckling. They were laughing. They were laughing loud. There's correct. They was Eddie Murphy laughing in Nutty Professor.
But that was fight or flight.
No, it was not fight or flight.
They said it was fight or flight.
Unless they were the Joker from the Joker movie where he laughs when he gets nervous. That's the only way that it was fight or flight. That's the only way that it was fight or flight. No, there's two ways you can answer. You can respond to
for
that,
sure.
Right? Number one, they could have said, shut that down, like, hey fam, that's but technically 3 ways. They could just completely shut it down, change the whole vibe of the conversation at that point. For sure. Where it's like, hey, no, my mama's black, my whoever else is black, sister, cousins, whatever, my auntie's black. Right. You ain't about to sit here and talk to them like that.
Because clearly you being black, African American, whatever the proper word is, you would have more of an interaction with this white person any day of the week. Therefore, to say, to your point, I've been around 40 in my family, and that is not the case.
Yeah.
We're not
So
going to compare the 40 that I know to the 3 or 4 you've encountered.
yeah. So that's so I was thinking more of a more solemn take on it
Okay.
was number one. That is the second way though. Is that's where you're like, I don't know what black women you talking about. But that ain't the ones I ran into. I don't know who you've been messing around with, where they done took you to, but that I don't know what you're talking about. So that's two. I guess technically there's 4 ways.
And
Number 3,
probably from the
there's
internet.
yeah, probably.
He's probably getting it from because on the internet. But I see the worst of everybody on the internet.
Yeah. You see the best of the people, and it's the best of times, it's the worst of times.
On the internet.
People are either going to put their best foot forward, so they always made up, always got a haircut line up and whatnot. And some people, you're like, do you live at the barbershop? Are you a barber yourself? Ain't no way you ain't never had no bad hair day.
Sure.
Like, I ain't never seen a 5 o'clock shadow or nothing.
I make 5 o'clock shadow. I make it look pretty good myself.
I mean, well, you know, some people got it, some people don't.
Hey,
you know, but yeah. But then you got to look at the nature of the show. So the nature of the show, if you watched any of his other the particular podcast or shows,
for which the
Caucasian show,
okay, gotcha.
That's what he does with everybody. Like there is no his brand of comedy, which there is a market for that brand of comedy for people who sit there and like, oh no, he's racist, cancel him. There's a reason why dark humor is even a thing.
For sure.
Dark humor is a thing because people laugh at that. People laugh at things like this. It's like the things you're not supposed to laugh at. And that goes with the point I'm making. Funny forgives. If it's funny, then people are going to forgive. What he said wasn't funny. It just sounded like an attack. Now, they have responded with something funny. We're going back to him. At least, even if you didn't say, hey, that you tripping, that's not what it is. But the fact that you're responding, well, you know, I've seen some white women that da-da-da-da.
And then everybody laughs together.
Everybody laughs together. And then it's like, yeah, I'm defending you by, you know, yeah, he attacking you, but I'm like, no, you ain't about to talk about my people. I'm talking about yours right back there.
Because what, in regards to violent, is he referring to physical or just a demeanor?
Yeah.
Because if it's a demeanor standpoint, there would be a Karen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Karen is known for a white woman who's, you know, not minding her own business, causing agitation, causing a ruckus, at times even being violent, usually for no reason. So to your point, had they just...
If you're talking about physically violent, like, what color was Loretta Bobbitt?
No,
Lorraine, whatever her name was.
Lorraine,
yeah, exactly.
Or even the woman from Monster. I seen that movie. Or Charlize Theron. Lorena Bobbitt.
Or Phil Hartman's wife.
She did kill him in the driveway, didn't she?
Phil the Treasure Hartman.
She did kill him in the driveway. So yeah.
And you want to talk about black women violence.
But, you know, maybe that's what they meant by fight or flight, is that they weren't prepared to shoot anything back.
So they just...
But they don't seem like, for example, right? They're reading tweets, right? From what I've seen.
Read tweets, talk about their personal endeavors.
So in that regard, there's not really a huge level of preparation needed because, you know, they could have read it 20 times. You know what I'm saying? And then responded. Like, I haven't watched, so I'm not sure if they're reading them live.
Well, even if they did, I mean, it's better if they read them live, but even still, it's like, you know, they didn't say it.
And they're going against a comedian who is used to shooting from the hip. You're a comedian. You shoot from the hip. I used to play the dozens, and, you know, I can get a good chuckle every now and then. Not a comedian, but I can shoot from the hip. So not excusing their lack of saying anything, but maybe fight or flight was the wrong word they used, and they just couldn't do anything else but laugh, which that could have been that uncomfortable, loud laugh, because they did laugh fairly loud. And I was like, that wasn't even that. It wasn't even that funny.
It wasn't even funny.
So, but maybe because he was laughing, and they were matching the energy on the couch.
That's the biggest thing to me. Is people getting up in arms, and the most wildest things happening over jokes that aren't funny. That joke that got Chris Rock slapped was not funny. That's the biggest problem I had. Like, you got slapped over a joke that wasn't even funny.
Oh, the G.I. Jane.
Yeah, like, this is 93? What is going on here?
Real?
The joke's not funny, and you got slapped. Come on, Chris.
Well, now that you kind of brought that up, let's swing it on over real quick. Bump Daddy is in a bit of trouble.
Just a little bit.
In a bit of trouble.
A little bit.
You mentioned celebrities getting slapped. Obviously, you know, Diddy had.
I don't know where you about to go with
Obviously,
this.
Diddy
Talk
had,
about Diddy.
obviously Diddy had, you know, slapped Drake.
Oh, that's what you're talking
Well, no,
about.
but I'm just saying overall because you mentioned other celebrities. You mentioned Chris. You know, you mentioned
Oh,
Will.
man.
Does this end, in your opinion, does
Mhm.
this end badly predominantly just for him, or does shit roll downhill once the ball really gets to rolling? Because the ball just seems to be rolling towards him at the moment.
It's only rolling towards him because he's not rolling over on anybody else.
Do
See
you
that?
think he
That's
rolls?
a
Do you think he
it's a
rolls?
detective term.
Do you think he rolls, or does he? Because again, I would have to imagine if what everybody's saying is true with all these tapes, then he could have any and everybody on that tape. And if it's any and everybody can't be exposed.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we're
People making deals right now as we speak who know they're on them tapes, they making deals today. Somebody is in there like, listen, man, I give you whatever everything I know. Just don't please.
so, and even to tie that back in, it all ties in today. Even to
It's
tie
all,
that back into that quick
it's all connected.
political race and about if it's funny, it's accepted. Where then do we lie if there is a person that a lot of people want for president
Mm-hmm.
that it has felony convictions,
Mm-hmm.
not accusations,
Mm-hmm.
convictions? So then, if this gentleman, as in Puff, you know, is clearly in his own hot water, where is the consistency in the law? If we have one group of people not to throw a man under the jail, but then we
consistent.
Where is?
It's very consistent. The white man's getting off,
okay.
and the black man's going to jail. It's as consistent as it gets.
So
that is the law within the law. You didn't know that?
So of course I do.
But it's the subsection B. You gotta use a visible ink. You gotta use a black light on the ink, and it says that right under all the law.
If we want to be better, if we want to evolve and move forward better than red or blue, you know, then there has to be conversation and consistency.
You know what I realized? This is very, very disheartening realization. Is the reality of it is they don't really want to be better. The country thrives on chaos, division, because if everything was
misinformation,
misinformation, everybody was kumbaya. There's no money to be made.
People probably aren't even getting sicker because they're listening to other people's opinions. People are eating better. Everything, crime is down.
There's no money to be made because the country ultimately runs off fear. 9 times out of 10, when they're trying to pass something or something is getting put out there, is because somebody has a fear of something else. Health wasn't a big concern till everybody was scared to get diabetes. They start saying what's inside of the food. I was like, oh, I got to eat healthier. Right. And now they're making these health foods, impossible things, whatever, that's just as bad, realistically. If not worse. But because it doesn't have the things that they said was in the other stuff that was so bad, it's making the people feel safe, and they're going to spend more money on that. If there's no money to be made, then there's no solution to be had.
So you know, as a citizen,
dang, I'm good.
Right. How do you see it? You know, like as far as the consistency of the country, you have a guy, sexual assault, apparently cheated on 3 of his wives, right? You have that person there. Mm-hmm. Whatever other allegations, started a riot leading into a Capitol building. Like all of these are, you know, these are.
And then said he didn't do it. Like, I ain't telling nobody to do that.
All of that, and again, we're just referring to the man, not the party, but the man. But then the same group of people holding this man up on their shoulders is then going to now vilify Puff in this situation, and it's like, does nobody see? Even though it's the consistency of the law, how they've wanted it to go, but does nobody see the inconsistencies in their arguments? If this guy should go, and if everything they said about Puff is true, obviously based off of the Cassie footage, we know the man is an abuser. So if he should, I know there's a statute of limitations on that, but in that situation, yeah, he's got to go. But if this man has been convicted of similar things, but you're holding him up, because he's on your side. Like, how do you, chastise one without chastising the other?
I
But
mean,
then wonder
I'm
why
just saying,
things aren't getting better because people are continuously choosing sides.
it's like I just said. No, it's they're choosing sides, but at the end of the day, the media going to paint a picture of one person as a monster and the other person as
I'm sorry, choosing
whatever.
their side because everybody has a side.
Yeah,
But you'll let crime slide if it's on your side, but then on the other side,
Maybe I
it's
don't know the
hellfire and
rules.
brimstone. He who has
Whoever
the gold makes the rules.
makes the rules.
And per a Google search,
Donald Trump,
Mr. Trump is worth $6 billion,
Scrooge McTrump.
and Mr. Combs is worth $900 million. So the billion will always win.
Yeah, the bees always beat the
They said, of course, shit goes down when there's a couple $1 billion in the elevator. Well, he's got more than a couple.
Yeah, he got more
to his own. Now, leading from Trump, we on one side on the other. I know we would be remiss if we did not bring it up. The NFL season.
This entire conversation, you didn't have me talk about serious stuff. You didn't have me bring some emotion out, things like that. And ultimately, this is what I was waiting for. The one sport that I pay attention to every single week. If I don't watch it live, I'm watching highlights, I'm reading, I'm doing everything. I could be a sports journalist. I could be an NFL insider.
Right, NFL insider.
I could be an NFL insider. I can cover anything NFL. This is the one thing that I do. And finally,
are you going to say something? Oh, it's covered.
how about them?
They're 2-1.
DJ 2-1, baby. Listen,
they lost to a team.
They're the same. They're in the same position that they were last year when we made it to the playoffs. They were 2-1 at this point.
That doesn't sound like progress.
It does.
You watch the game.
Progress.
You watch sounds like progress.
Don't.
The Minnesota Vikings sound like progress.
The Minnesota
They're 3-0. They got Sam Dynamite Darnold at the helm.
Who calls him that?
I don't know, but he had his trial of fire.
He had no trial of fire
in Carolina. Had another trial of fire. That was the second trial of fire. His first trial of fire was in the armpit of New York. The New York Jets.
First and foremost, let's get this out.
Coaching was bad because they didn't have Robert Saleh at the time. The Jets have had 17 coaches since they drafted Sam Darnold. And now, wait a minute. Sam the Man Dynamite Darnold is now in Minnesota, and him and Justin Jefferson are lock and step.
You just said it. You just said it. Who is he throwing the ball to in every other in New York?
In New York?
Yeah, in New York. Who is he throwing the ball to?
Wasn't Garrett Wilson there?
No, Garrett Wilson is what, 3 years in?
No. Well, he was throwing the ball to DJ Moore in Carolina.
And what's DJ Moore doing in Chicago right now?
He has Caleb Williams throwing the ball to him.
that boy sitting on the bench looking distraught
because he went to work when it was Justin Fields.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
and they got him up out of there because they thought they saw a shiny new rattle, and it was nothing.
I have no idea what they were like. In my personal opinion, I don't think Justin Fields got a fair chance in Chicago.
Of course not.
I also don't feel like the Steelers, as of late, have been drafting very well when it comes to their wide receiver core.
They have the Johnson guy was good.
They got George
Deontay and had Pickens. The issue was the quarterback play, but they got to toe that. Go ahead.
So
I'm tired of this quarterback bullshit. If he sucks, get him the fuck out of there. Because I get tired of them. Oh, the QB. You know how many careers a QB has broken because ownership does not want to part ways? But then who do they part ways with? They part ways. Go ahead.
You all right, man?
I'm just tired of the sucking of the teat of these quarterbacks. Oh, he's the first one in, the last one out. He's the captain of the ship. I know he has the ball the most times, but let's just look at how many careers have been ruined because an owner or a GM can't swallow their pride and be like, "Damn, man, I did fuck up." Careers are ruined. So now DJ Moore, and again, Caleb could ball the next 15 games of the season, but in these first three, and to your point, Justin Fields, he's not even the topic of our conversation, but he was dealt a bad hand.
Mm-hmm.
As Baker Mayfield was dealt a bad hand, as Sam Darnold was possibly dealt a bad hand, and it's just hold accountability and maybe stop putting them here, and that is the issue.
I don't think Sam Darnold was dealt a. Well, I mean, you drafted to the Jets, of course, is a bad hand. But he is at now. He has the best, arguably the best receiver on the league to throw the ball to.
True.
So naturally, you're going to look some kind of decent. If you can't get Justin Jefferson the ball, you suck because he don't even got to be open.
That is accurate. But he still has to put
and he
it
got
there.
Hawkinson to throw the ball to.
But he still has to put it there.
Justin Jefferson,
Dobbs didn't put it there that many times.
Did you see? Because he was hurt half that season.
Whoever else was there didn't. He wasn't hitting him how he was hitting.
I know you're talking about. I just remember the game when he played.
I mean, the
Lions.
fact that he's still getting him
the Lions got the interception.
The fact that he's still getting him the ball when he's being double and triple teamed. Clearly, the boy can throw.
Clearly, Justin Jefferson is TG.
For the audience who does not know,
that guy he is that guy.
Well, go ahead. I know you were going on your Lions soliloquy, and I went on this QB tirade.
Yeah, you know, the Lions. The biggest thing for me of the Lions is that defense has stepped up tremendously from last year.
For sure.
Now Jared Goff seems a little rusty. He hasn't played in the preseason. It looked like he hasn't played in the preseason, so he does need to clean some things up. But what if this offense gets?
Sorry to interrupt. Question for you then. In that regard, do you think there should be a level of earning not being able to play? And what I say by that is 1 year, one good year. Well, in his career, we'll say 3 good years that Jared Goff has had in his tenure,
something like
career. That. Should you have the right, especially if you're not flourishing, right? So let's say a Patrick Mahomes, a Tom Brady, maybe even Deshaun Watson when he was rolling in Houston. Like somebody like that, like, all right, we can sit out. You ain't got to worry about the first 2-3 games. But if you're somebody who still hasn't figured out how to hit, what's the fast guy? Jameson Williams, via a go route, you shouldn't be missing. We should be getting in all the touches to get more cohesion and more chemistry, similar to Caitlin Clark. You see, it's all tying in.
It's all connected.
Similarly, it is all connected. Similar to, again, them not going off into, vacation for 3 weeks during the Olympics and them locking in to be what they can be. And you've been saying all this season is that because of a lot of starters did not play, here we are week 3 and then seeing good football.
Yeah, football was terrible week 1. Week 2 was not much better.
So should there be something that you do to where it's like, hey man, like you get like, yes, we made it almost to the Super Bowl. That we did. But these things need to be fixed.
So I'll say this. Every year Jared Goff has played for the Lions, he's gotten better.
Okay.
With the exception of this year, he's kind of taking a slight dip.
But like you said, it's right. But to him, this was his preseason.
Yeah, this is his first 3 games of his preseason.
Okay.
Right. Strategically, there is a reason why you don't play him in the preseason as well. Because if somebody randomly gets a freak injury in the preseason, your whole season is thrashed.
Right, but you can get hurt getting out of bed.
You can get hurt out of bed. The likelihood of that versus you getting sacked in the preseason, though.
It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Carry on. My man of the cloth. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, no.
God's will. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's a strategy to not do it. There's a strategy to do it. Like you said, you get the reps in a real game. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With a real defense, not the other people on your team.
With the padded braziers on their head.
The turtle braziers. The fact you say braziers instead of bra is hilarious.
You gotta be correct. That's what it's called. It's a brazier.
Brazier and pantaloons. That's what they call them.
I would never say pantaloons.
Brazier and pantaloons.
I would never say pantaloons. I wouldn't even say
it ain't bra and panties. It's braziers and pantaloons.
You know what? Okay, fine.
Only time I heard the word brazier is during It's a Barry White song called "Love Serenade," and he just be talking at the beginning. He's like,
Oh,
yeah.
take off your Brazilian.
He said, "Yeah, take off that Brazilian, my dear."
Barry understood. Barry understood.
That Brazil,
Barry understood.
dog.
I mean, it might be.
I have not heard that word until you said it. I'm like, what?
That's what it's called. It's called a Brazil.
It's a bra.
It's a brazier. It's just short. Listen, the whole world is filled with acronyms now. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start adding the letters that are supposed to go back. It's a brazier.
You go to reverse shorten.
So there you go. For some, certain stuff I understand.
Yeah, so you reverse shorten is really just elongating it. Just sounds
Like LOL. I will not type.
yeah.
I'll just either use the laughing emoji or HA. But I will not type.
I'm gonna tell you, if you get an LOL from me, it is because I'm not really paying. Like it's real quick. It's just because
it's dismissive. It's dismissive.
It is.
The emoji, I don't know where you're at, but hey, we're all laughing together.
Yeah.
I'm laughing as when the Lions end the season behind the Minnesota Vikings. Because you tried to waver from the point. I got to keep you on because we're almost out of here.
Yeah,
so back to your Lions.
No, the Lions are not. They will beat the Vikings, and when they do, you just to the episode we film after the Lions beat the Vikings.
I mean, obviously, I have no horse in the race, but it's fun because I had asked
the fact that you said it though.
Because I asked you
months
ago
that you said it though.
Because I asked you, I said, "What if the Lions? What if the Vikings are rolling?" And you was like, "That's not going to happen against Sam Bradford."
I said it wasn't going to happen because J.J. McCarthy. I was not a fan.
It was because of J.J.
I did not think J.J. McCarthy was going to be.
And that's you know what? Even more reason because it wasn't the guy who was supposed to be, and he's gonna have.
Because ain't nobody had no tape on him. Sam Bradford ain't played since 2012. Ain't nobody had no tape on him.
And he playing with house money. What does he have to lose?
Sam Bradford, he's alive.
What does he have to lose? Cause what did he get? Real quick,
contract wise
for the Jets. Because I would, because I would
on the Jets.
No, financially. Because I would imagine from a money standpoint, he's good.
You're Danforth, not Darnold, not Bradford.
Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. Every time Sam Bradford, an old L.A. Ram. I'm sorry, old St. Louis Ram. Yeah, Oklahoma Sooner.
And he was in San Francisco last year as well.
Inside my heart, in San Francisco.
Contract.
Okay. Yes. You type like an old black man.
He signed a 4-year, $30 million.
Wait, what?
4 years?
That was number one pick? Mm-hmm. What year was that?
With the New York Jets, including $20 million signing bonus and an average annual salary of $7,560,000.
Real quick, look up Caleb.
Who?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
What was that? 5 years ago?
That was in 2018.
2018. So he was Williams. 30 for 4. So let's see.
4-year, $39.5 million contract.
But that was
that is fully guaranteed.
Okay, so it's only went up $9 million. Now, neither one of them.
But it's fully guaranteed.
Now, who? Yes. Now, who? Still staying with football briefly. Mm-hmm. Now, what quarterback have you seen in the last 10 years who everybody thought was going to be like a number one pick? Because in 6 years to go up $9 million, granted it is all guaranteed, it doesn't seem like, you know what I'm saying? Like it seems like that jump. Because what did Cam get? Like I thought Cam got something ridiculous. Matter of fact, go back to Cam. Because I remember they used to get the first rounder used to get something ridiculous, and then, I think Cam was the last one.
And then what's his face? Rookie contract. We talking about Jamarcus Russell came and ruined it all. He got 4 years, $22 million.
That's what Cam got?
For as a rookie.
So now we're back there. Because I thought they said he was the last one. Or was it before him? Because I thought somebody got this gargantuan contract. And then I remember when they shut it down from the rookies getting like paid like that.
Jamarcus Russell.
But so Jamarcus was before Cam.
Jamarcus Russell.
So I'm trying to figure out.
Jamarcus Russell had
so Cam had, you said 22. Okay.
Jamarcus Russell got a 6-year, $68 million deal with $31.5 million guaranteed.
So his guarantee was more than Sam Darnold's entire contract
Mhm.
close to what his would be. So yes, okay. So now they are starting to get back to that almost 10 a year
Yeah.
now. So it took 6 or 7 years to get that Jamarcus Stain out of their mouth.
Yeah, because Jamarcus, he got his money in
Yeah,
there.
because 70 for 6 is close to 39. For 4, it's still almost 10 million, but that 39 guaranteed. So now we're on our way back.
Yeah.
So saying all that to say, you got the Lions going where?
That's, we even got to ask this question.
Okay. Against
Yeah.
against who?
Well, if the refs keep playing the way they doing, then I'd say Kansas City.
Okay.
What? Listen, I was never
What
really
refs?
one of those Kansas City conspirators. I know people who just hate Mahomes, hate the Chiefs so much. They're like, oh, the refs always bailing them out. But these last 2 games, it's been very difficult to dispute when the game on the line calls. It's one thing if it's like beginning of the game.
Is it a real call?
You said what?
Is it a real call?
Oh, that defensive pass interference against Kyle Pitts they should have called. He tackled that man before the ball even got to him.
Was his head turned around? Was the defender?
No, he was in his stomach. Kyle Pitts had to jump, try to catch it. My man just ran right into him.
Bang bang play.
No, the ball was clearly at least a yard away before he touched him.
Bang play. Bang play.
The last 2 games.
So you're saying that the fix is in for the Chiefs?
At least at the beginning of the season, because once people realize it and start saying stuff about it, the NFL's gonna hey,
right.
Y'all got to
change the script a little bit.
Calm it down. I don't think Baltimore is going to be as bad as their record says. I think at the end of the season,
It's early.
Yeah. If they actually play to the strength with his running the ball, why do you have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson? You over here trying to pass the ball 40 times a game?
Because
Stupids.
he doesn't want them to label him as a glorified running back.
Derrick Henry.
I agree to run the ball. Who cares? If you win a Super Bowl, nobody's going to care how you did it.
Nobody.
You were the quarterback.
Nobody.
You won. If they look at
Swallow
your stats,
pride and win.
yeah, and
game.
then per the stat, they'll see. Oh, he threw the ball. He threw a touchdown.
Yeah.
He just happened to run half as many touchdowns as he threw. But nobody cares if you win.
I think they're going to be up there. A lot of things shook up. Like injuries have shook up some things. Like the Dolphins are going nowhere.
Does Buffalo continue?
Buffalo's
always been good.
Buffalo,
and for whatever reason, playing better. Because maybe he's like, okay, I got Gabe. Oh, but there's Stephon. Hey, I got Gabe.
Cry if I don't get him the ball.
Oh, there's Stephon. I got Kincaid. But there's Stephon. And now he's just like, you get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'll get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
Now he has surprised me with the way he's played. I do need to see him play who I think is going to be a contender.
And who's that?
I need to see them play.
San Francisco just lost.
San Francisco is
they are without Kittle and Debo.
They're without Kittle and Debo, but there's also
and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean they have no offense, so now you get to see if Purdy is a product of his environment or if he's
don't come for Purdy.
Listen, I'm just saying easy. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying we gonna see.
Okay.
But I mean, Jawan Jennings gets 3 touchdowns, still lost the game, but he was able to get the ball to Jawan Jennings.
That's on the defense because they didn't get blown out. That's on the defense.
I mean, they got up big and then didn't score again.
So that's on the defense. I did my job.
That was 24. No,
I did my job.
In theory, in the NFL, the first team to 35 wins. If you don't score 35 points, you need to keep scoring.
Well, I put 24 in it. You let them get another.
You see what happened with Buffalo did yesterday?
That's how you do it.
They put up 47. I said they are up 27-0, and he's still throwing the ball.
That's what you do.
I was like, well, all right. Because, I mean, that's what they say. They say typically first team to 35 wins.
Okay.
So don't take your foot off the gas until you have 35 points.
You hear that, America? Do not take your foot off the gas. Like, subscribe, comment in the comment section of this awesome podcast. We will see you all next week. I am Sean Manning. That is Jason Jamerson. Until next time. Listen here, you son of a bitch. You step on my line again.
I wasn't even done talking. We ain't get to the paw rankings, you bastard.
I know.
Listen here.
I know. You only got 3 teams today. So.
I'll tell you what. You're the roaches of the humans. That's what you are.
I don't know.